A very good afternoon to our viewers and welcome to the 1873 TV, Your Vision, Your Power. My name is Tinashe Mpasiri. This afternoon on the 1873 TV, we bring you yet another insightful and informative program as we look at corporate hooliganism when we look at the SMM, Shabhani, Mashaba case study that we've been looking at. And today we bring you part 19 of SMM Special. So joining me in the discussion so that we are able to unpack some of the issues as far as corporate literacy is concerned is Mr. Mutungwa Mawere. Mr. Mawere, a very good afternoon and welcome to the 1873 TV.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, we also happen to be joined by Alice Makaya. Alice, a very good afternoon and welcome.
Well, good afternoon.
Yes, quite often, Mr. Mawere, when it comes to corporate literacy, it's something that many individuals, including myself, have a challenge of understanding. And it's so fortunate that we have this case study, which we've been looking at for the past couple of weeks. And it is through this case study, I'm also being enlightened about some aspects of corporate literacy that an individual needs to understand just the basics themselves, which often are misunderstood, like the aspect of shareholders, whether shareholders own a company or not, the role of directors, and even what role does government actors play in the affairs of a private company.
Yeah, I think we can look at SMM, which is a case study that you may, I think Alice, you may not be familiar with. Maybe you may know a company called Shabhani, Mashaba
Yes.
Mines. So SMM actually is an acronym for Shabhani, Mashaba, Mines, so private limited. I think the question is, what happened in terms of ownership? One day, people heard the company was controlled by Mawere. The next day, there's confusion. Nobody knows what happened. How did shares transfer from one party to the other? You know, like a car. When you buy a car, what do you get?
Because you get,
Title.
the interest title here.
Title. And the title will be in whose name?
In your name.
In your name. Can that title change on its own?
It cannot.
Can it change without your consent?
Never.
And if you look at house is property.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning, I think they were talking about property on the show. That property is something of value. This is an object of value. Even title to a house. That in itself is a right to prevent somebody from calling a house theirs without your knowledge and consent. Even the bank cannot come and just evict you. There has to be legal processes
That need to take place.
So if there's a dispute, that dispute ought to be resolved in a court of law. You can't just take the law into your own hands. That is called self-help. You know that in the animal farm, I just help myself. Yeah. So if you owe me money, what do? I come and take your property. Yeah. This is the kind of hooliganism that the title is all about. When do human beings become organized? When do human beings become animals? And would you expect anyone in government to be an animal or to behave in an animalistic way?
Definitely not, because you hope that they will abide by the law.
That's right. In fact, they should protect the weakest person in the value chain. So if we take in terms of a company and a human being, when you look at a human being is born. What is the document that evidences birth?
Yes, birth certificate.
That shows you've entered the family of what? Of human beings. Now, have you seen a dog with a birth certificate?
No.
Or a monkey?
No.
So this is what happens. You get a birth certificate. That birth certificate, what is usually on the birth certificate? What is normal on the birth certificate?
Basically your name,
Yeah.
date of birth,
Yeah.
the details of your parents.
You need parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then of
But can you
course-
just have a birth certificate with a blank?
Definitely not. It's
Yeah,
only
that
for
you
the
just came
information.
from heaven
No.
and arrived.
No.
No. So there is a registration. So we register. The same thing as companies. What happens to a company? It is registered. And in the register of companies, you also need to know who are the parents of that company. What are the parents of companies called?
Directors.
No, no.
No, you mean the sorry?
Parents of a company.
They're the shareholders.
They're the shareholders. So they hold the share. So it's the same as the birth certificate. Your parents will be in the birth certificate, but the birth certificate is your birth. But it shows who has caused this child to be born. So in terms of companies, it will also show. So it will show the shares are issued in your name. The birth certificate is issued with your name as a parent in it. Is that understood? So I cannot change and suddenly become your father. You just go to the register.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. So this is what we are going to go through, just to see how this was done. So if we go to the next one, Leroy, we go to the next one, which is the next page. Then we'll come to the directors. Because the directors will be appointed by shareholders.
And for the benefit of those who are tuned in via Zimbabwe Today Facebook page, who also want to view the documents as we go along, you can actually migrate to the 1873 TV Facebook page where these documents are being shared.
Okay, so we go, that one. It says Companies Act Chapter 2303. You can see that.
It's actually 24.
2403. Then in the same paper, they imposed something called the Reconstruction of State Insolvent Companies Act, which means there are two acts. Yeah?
The Companies
Right, yes.
Act.
The Companies
Do you
Act,
see
the
the?
reconstruction of state?
How can you have two acts coexisting?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah? So you already see this is now theft in motion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The Companies Act is a different font, is it? Then on it, it says the Reconstruction of State Indebted Insolvent Companies Act, Chapter 24, stroke 27. Then it says name of company, number of company, 358 stroke 190. So in terms of registration, that is what is there. Then name of company, SMM Holdings Private Limited. It then says to the registrar of companies. This is in terms of the Companies Act. But they have already imposed another act on it. Even the registration of birth is registered in terms of an act of what? Of Parliament. I can't just go to a corner office that issues birth certificates. You know what would happen?
One would have multiple birth certificates.
Yeah.
This is it.
I could say, but we have arrested the wrong guy. Because I can issue another one and say, when was the one they accused born? Then I'll produce another one from a corner office. So there has to be protection. So the issuance of birth is in terms of what? Birth certificate. In terms of an act. Because government is a government of laws. It's not government of anarchy. So it then says, the above mentioned company herewith forwards its return of allotments from 22 July 2005 to 12 November 2009. Now you see, this period occurs after the company has been taken over by the government. Nominal capital US dollars 100,000 divided into 100,000 ordinary shares issued at a par value of $1 each. Do you see that?
Yes, we can see that.
Yeah. Then total number of shares previously allotted, excluding subscriber shares, nil after valuation. Nominal amount thereof, nil. Number of shares now allotted, payable in cash, 33,250. Nominal amount thereof, $1 per share. So the total amount to be allotted in terms of value, it becomes $33,250. Number of shares, amount payable on allotment in respect of each share. Then you have number of shares now allotted for a company, is it
shares allotted for a consideration other than cash.
Other than cash, nothing. Then you come at the bottom, it says total number of shares allotted, including those previously allotted. 33,250 ordinary shares. Nominal amount thereof, that's the 33,000. Then you have names and addresses of allottees and date of allotment. See attached, schedule attached. Who signs that? The administrator. But how does an administrator sign on behalf of a company? When it's a company, who governs the company? Do you know who should be governing the company?
When it's a company, it should
No,
be the
no,
director.
director. Not somebody imposed on a company. This, then presented for filing by AMG Global Chartered Account in Zimbabwe, lodging box. So he lodges this without any knowledge of the shareholder. Then we go to the next page. Now, he allots shares to a company called Nickdale Investment, which is, its address is the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, 8 Samora Machel Avenue, and allotted 25,270 shares. Then SMM Holdings Limited UK. Can you imagine the address now?
Care of SMM Holdings Private Limited, Block 2, Tendeseka Park, Samora Machel Avenue East.
How can a UK company
Heaven.
a registered address
In
Harare? Huh?
Doesn't make sense at all.
You can see theft in motion.
Yeah. Jeez. And it's so apparent, you know?
So clear. And this is done on the 12th of November 2000. You know, UDI was on the 11th of November. Just one day after. This is a declaration of theft.
This is daylight robbery.
This is daylight robbery. So they then allocate these shares. So effectively, in terms of this scheme, you can see that that's now the Companies Act. The number is 358. Now you don't see anymore
The reconstruction.
the reconstruction. This is CR6, which is a company notice of situation and postal address of a company's regional office or a foreign company's principal place of address and any change of name of company, SMM Holdings. Register of companies, this is private. 1 Dagenham Road, Willowville. Postal address and has been changed from the above to another address. You see, it's now moving from what? From Buluwayo, and from Dagenham, it's now going to what? To Tendeseka Office Park. Come down. And who is now the secretary? It's Kwaratsimba. And that is the date 15th day of what? Of March 2007. And this is filed without the knowledge of the shareholder.
Jeez.
You see, then they put an order of court to dignify this theft. For an order in terms of what? Section 8 of the Reconstruction Act, confirming this reconstruction order issued by the applicant in relation to SMM Holdings, private limited. That's a private limited. 15th December. So they use this to say, I got an order. It doesn't say you can change shareholding. Just say reconstruction order. It is ordered that the reconstruction issued by the applicant on 6 September in relation to SMM Holdings in terms of the presidential powers, temporary measures, reconstruction of state indebted insolvent companies act, regulation 2004, published in statutory instrument 187 of 2004, be and is hereby confirmed in terms of section 8 subsection 3 subsection A of the Reconstruction of State Indebted Insolvent Companies Act by the judge, which is Judge Kamocha. So they dignify this. So we go to the chamber application, which then gave that. But we'll go in detail. But let's go back to the top now. Now that they've changed the shareholding, they now apply the rules, the first page, which is on the top. So you then see they go to the board of directors, removes all the other directors, and puts new board members.
Jeez, but this is also illegal.
Yeah. So now it says particulars of directors, secretaries, principal officer, and companies. Who is then put in? Date of appointment is 25 February, is it 1999?
Yeah, this one is 1999.
Onisimo Manyika Due. Then he resigns on the 1st of October 2005. So he's thrown off the bus. The next one is what? Simplicio Julius Chiambakwe, appointed on the 6th of July 2004 and resigned on the 22nd March 2007. Then Sibusiswe Precious Bango, appointed on the 1st of January. 1st of January, is it a holiday?
It's a public holiday.
It's actually a public holiday.
It's a public, but yeah?
New Year's Day.
Yeah, but somebody's being appointed.
And the registrar of companies is open.
So Sibusiswe Precious, people will know it. And what address does she have? 11 Dagenham Road, which is the same address.
Yes, yeah, that we previously saw.
So is that where she lives? She now lives where the company is. Huh? And
It's actually fraudulent.
yeah, fraudulent. 22 March 2007. That's when she resigned. Rita Likukuma.
Also on the 1st of January.
Yeah, do you know Rita?
Rita.
Likukuma.
No.
Yeah, she is now, maybe you can Google it. Rita Likukuma. That's her registration number. She's one of the, she was also appointed on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Even as you go down, you'll see that everybody was appointed on New Year's Day.
On New Year's Day. Then she resigned. Is it resigned on the 21st? On the 22nd. Is it at the top? If you come at the top. No, at the top.
22nd.
At the top. What are those dates at the
It
end?
looks like the 22nd.
No, at the top. Where it starts. so that we can see what the index is. No, at the top. What are the last two columns? Eh?
So Rita Likukuma is currently deputy chairperson of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe board.
Can you see?
Yes, it's quite.
Okay. Change date and date of company what? Notice of change, is it? Yeah. So they are appointed in 2006, but then the company's office only advised in 2007. So all of them. So you can go through the Kukuma, the Tobias Takavarasha. Who is the next one? Gwabi. Is it Bebe?
It's Bebe.
And then Dennis Shoko. Who is that one? Wilbert Zuda. The next one? Rungano. Bire. Oliver Mtasa. Genius Maposa. Garikai Robert Bera was with Gil Gordon and Gerard. Then the secretary is the same Peter Chikowe Moyo.
Oh,
The guy who was
part of that
Weber diarrhea.
the kangaroo tribunal.
And that was March what? Yeah. So they go and change the whole board because they've changed the shares without anyone's knowledge. Now they say this is now the company. Huh? You never heard the story.
Yes, I did. I mean, obviously the whole process was illegally done.
Yeah.
Because there was no consent. There was no consent. From your part. It
Yeah.
was something that was done.
In fact, the company was owned by a UK company, which had 100%. Now they changed the company to end up with how many shares? 7,000 out of 33. So which accounts to what? 24%. So 76% of the shares were issued to Nick Dale, this company. That is a Reserve Bank child.
It doesn't make sense. Obviously, everything was done, in an illegal way.
So your birth certificate is changed at midnight. Then you wake up, says, okay, Alice is now your mother.
I mean, that's something that's been
That's
never
it.
heard of. Yeah.
Oh no, you've never heard of children being stolen.
Yes, I know that
Yeah.
children do get stolen.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what
That's
happened.
exactly what happened. Yes.
Yeah, then they go and register.
Crazy. Really
Yeah.
crazy.
And the people in government, Reserve Bank, they are involved in this. Charges are involved. Justice Kamocha. You can see the honorable.
And you can notice that a lot of the information that was put there is incorrect.
They know exactly that it doesn't have to be correct. Because they are using power to say this is what we are going to do. Now look at so you now understand how the company is constructed. First, the shares must be issued to somebody.
Yes.
Then the shareholders will then appoint directors. So what they did was what? Take over the company using a law they manufactured. Once they remove you from the car, they go and change the registration.
That's theft. That's
Yeah.
theft, yeah.
Same as a house. They go and change the title. They not only take it, because there's no legal instrument that connects them to the house or connects them to the car. Then they use the law now to superimpose themselves there.
It's abuse of power.
That's abuse of power. So if, that's what we're talking about, Dr. Moyo, who wants to be a president somehow.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're talking to somebody called Upper. To say, he says, no, that's personal. Yeah. But these are the things that are not known in the public domain.
And such things need to be exposed. So that
That's where the journalists, imagine this happened in 2009. Today is what?
2017.
Say, how many years later?
About 8 years later.
And no journalist picked up. Yeah. Do you understand the challenge?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Then where is this? This is not new information. You can see some of the things are what? So it says case number HC High Court 5633/05.
Which is 2005.
So let's go down and see who is applying to court. This is in the matter between the Minister of Justice. You would expect the Minister of Justice to be the last person to be involved in this
such matters.
hooliganism. You wouldn't expect to have a government where the Minister of Justice has knowledge of these games. And he sleeps and wakes up and he says he's doing the people's business. So you can go down to look at the court application. See, that's the minister. Take notice that the applicant intends to apply to a judge of the High Court in Harare in Chambers for an order in terms of the draft order annexed to this notice, and that the accompanying affidavits and documents will be used in support of the application. Further, take notice that the applicant, being the Minister of Justice, shall set this matter down for hearing before a judge in Chambers at any time after the expiration of 14 days from the date of publication of a notice in the government gazette advising shareholders, creditors, and members of the board of directors of SMM Holdings Private Limited of the applicant's intention to make this application. Do you see something unusual there? Yeah? The minister applies to go to court to confirm something that is already done. Yeah? He arrests you, issues an arrest order, and you go to Nasha, you are now in prison. He goes to prison to confirm
That I'm in prison.
no, that the order he granted is legitimate. When he doesn't have the powers to grant, the only people with the power to limit your freedom is the court.
Yeah.
No minister can possess such power. But in this case, the minister is given the power to what? To issue orders that take away your house, your car, then only go to court in chambers, not in an open court. You know what is a chamber? I go to the judge in private in a chamber. It's not an open court hearing.
It's only the judge and those parties.
And how do they notify shareholders? In terms of a government gazette, does a shareholder read the gazette?
You don't need to read the
Yeah.
gazette.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were never notified in person.
They don't know. Because that's why they send the sheriff. That's why it's a requirement that you have a return of service to make sure that the person has received it, who is entitled. In this case, the minister says, no, I just publish. So the shareholder must be a government person or people who are looking for tenders. And he says that's notice. And the judge accepts it. Then further take notice that the applicant's address of service for the purpose of the application is care of the civil division of the Attorney General's office, and this address is set out below. civil division, who is the address? Duwe Manikai Wacha and Wacha. Yeah? Is that the civil division? Yeah?
Definitely
No,
not.
it's not.
Definitely not.
Yeah?
Definitely
That's now care of a private company. So when they say state capture,
Mhm.
what is this?
This is absolutely state capture.
The address of the Attorney General has been what?
It has been captured
Has been captured.
by Due Manika and Watch.
By Duwe Manikai Wacha. A private law firm.
Sure.
Then it says to the shareholders, there's no address, there's no creditors. So that application on its own shows that there was no service. But what is happening is this process is meant to deprive somebody of his house, of his property. And there's no notice. This is all being done outside the what? The four corners of the law. And this is what you get. This is the country people fought for, to be independent. And this is happening in your own eyes. And this person, this character is Minister of Finance of a country getting somewhere.
This is definitely corruption at play.
In the High Court, yeah, the minister is applying for an order in terms of Section 8 of the Reconstruction of State Insolvent Companies Act, confirming the reconstruction order issued by the applicant in relation to a private company. So the court is only there to rubber stamp what the minister did. It's not there to look at the fact. Imagine Oscar Pistorius goes to court and there was already an order that you are made there.
You just get sentenced.
You
Without
get-
being tried.
Without being tried. Then who is signing? I, the undersigned, Patrick Anthony Chinamasa, PAC, do hereby make oath and swear that I am the minister, not a thief, of justice, legal and parliamentary affairs in the government of Zimbabwe. I am in my official capacity, not in the capacity of a robber, the applicant in this matter. Save where I indicate otherwise, or where the context indicates otherwise, the facts that I depose to are within my personal knowledge. How does a minister get personal knowledge of a company? Huh? The board is the one that knows what happens in it.
Yes.
Huh? Those are the people with vested, with the control. Now you have a minister saying, I know the facts of a private company. What is your job as a minister? How do facts come into your office? Where are the legs that give these facts an address? Okay. Are, to the best of my information and belief, true and correct. This is under oath. Where I do not have personal knowledge related to any facts contained in this affidavit, I confirm that I have verified by due and diligent inquiry the accuracy of such facts, and that I believe them to be true and correct. The Minister of Justice is now an investigator.
Exchange roles.
And he is now employed to be minister as well. This is strange. The applicant is made in terms of Section 8 of the Reconstruction of State Indebted Insolvent Companies Act, the Reconstruction Act, for an order confirming the reconstruction order that I issued before the court knew anything about it on 6 September 2004 in relation to a private company, SMM Holdings. I wish to deal with the preliminary procedural issue before turning to the substanding aspects of this application. Section 8 of the Reconstruction Act requires that the Minister of Justice Legal and Parliamentary Affairs should, by application made within 30 days after the issue of the reconstruction order, seek an order confirming the reconstruction order. For how many days?
We say 30 days.
30 days. So when was the first order issued?
The first order of reconstruction.
Yeah.
It was on the 6th of September.
6th of, so 30 days would have been when?
It would have been on the 6th of October.
2001?
2004.
So when is this application made?
This is in 2005.
2005. A year later, is it?
Well, almost, yeah.
Yeah, almost. Yeah?
Or from September to March.
It's
No, it's not too much. Go to the signature at the bottom.
Okay.
2nd of November.
2nd of November,
Yes.
2001?
2005.
5. So it's 1 year plus another month. So he doesn't worry about the law. He puts the law, he defines it.
Actually, sorry, it's the 27th of October 2005.
2005.
Yes.
So it's after 1 year.
Yes.
The Reconstruction Act came into force on 4th March after the company had already been taken, after it had issued already. There was no act.
Sure.
Huh? There was no act at all. The reconstruction order that I issued in relation to SMM was issued in terms of the presidential powers. Imagine,
Sure is.
how does the president get involved?
My goodness.
Temporary measures.
It's almost like a lot of people being implicated in this.
That's right. Including the president, that he was part and parcel of this scheme. Temporary measures, reconstruction of state insolvent companies, regulations, not even an act, 2004, published in a government gazette. At the time I issued the reconstruction order, there was no provision in the reconstruction regulation which required me to seek confirmation of a reconstruction order by a judge or a court. So when you take over, there was no reference to a court. This only came after.
And the courts actually
Endorse it.
endorse it. They listen to this and they endorse it.
Then you
I
begin
see.
to wonder that what is the role of the court if they're going to endorse something that is not even factual?
Yeah. That is the, that if you have now, if you thought that you could be protected by the courts, they would catch the mischief and say, hang on, this is patently unconstitutional. You can't deprive me of my rights. You are the complainant, and yet you are the judge as well. How can you be both? Eh? Can you really be?
You can't play, you can't.
You can't.
You can't.
You shouldn't play on both sides of what? Of the equation. But in this case, we are actually seeing the privatization of government. That if I'm a minister, I can do whatever I want.
I've got all power.
I got all power
Mm.
that is vested in me.
And I can
So
say-
he says there was no provision. He agrees. He concedes to court and honestly says the court, I took this company without any protection. The person I was victimizing had no access to court. Because the court, I couldn't go to court.
Obviously, then there's no justice.
There is no justice.
Mhm.
And this is what you see in the Zimbabwe of, is it? Of the promise.
Mhm.
Yeah. The Zimbabwe promise. This is it. That's 2009, which means Zimbabwe was 29 years old.
Mm.
And these games are happening. When it was 24 years, this is happening in broad daylight. And the person is not even afraid, ashamed
Mm.
to sign an affidavit. A minister who knew there was checks and balances would say, please.
Yeah, then you begin to wonder that even when he put his signature there, did he actually read the document and go through the document before, putting his
What
signature?
if he is a criminal himself?
Because I'm saying it's a very serious thing to have to put your signature.
No, what if he's part of the scheme? He knows it's wrong. But he says, as long as I got the power to victimize you, to take your house,
Then it's okay, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Mhm. regardless.
Regardless, because I got the power. Where did he get the power from? From the people.
From the people,
But do the people know that their power is being used
and abused.
and abused in this manner?
Obviously, they don't have the knowledge of it, do they?
They don't have. And where are the journalists? You are one of them.
Maybe sometimes you're not privy to some of this information for you to.
This is a
expose
public
it.
document.
Yeah, but even if it's a public document, but you don't know what underhand dealings are going on. So
No,
certain
I'm saying
information,
Do
doesn't
you
come out.
concede that
Mm.
the problem may not be where we think it is?
Mhm.
Because we think President Mugabe must know everything. But if the journalists don't know and they don't tell him that the ministers who surround you have a problem. These documents are, facts don't what?
They don't lie.
Yeah, they have legs. They're still in 2017. Those facts are working. And they have arrived in your doorstep. Can you sleep now?
You can't.
Yeah?
Mm.
But these people are sleeping. And say, this is the Zimbabwe of promise. Yeah. We wanted to fix Mawere, look what we did.
But I suppose when there's no freedom of speech, there's certain things that you don't feel free to actually expose
No,
because of the implications.
No, if you don't know, Alice, you don't know. You can't be afraid of something you don't know.
Yes.
Have you ever seen this document in your life?
Nope.
Yeah. How long were you in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, I was there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yes, but of course I was aware of what was going on.
How can you be aware of something you don't know?
Mm. Well, I wasn't aware of the underhand dealing.
No, this is not underhand. This is a court document.
Yes.
Actually stamped. I mean, if you look up what's Leroy, there's a stamp, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
High Court of Zimbabwe.
It's the High Court of Zimbabwe. This is not a private document. This is actually High Court of Zimbabwe stamped. So there's not a person can go and check the case number. That case number is recorded. HC 5 what? At the top. HC at the top. Where you have notice of motion at the top. Go up. You see? That one. And up. Yeah. 563305. So nobody can be mistaken. So these documents exist. But I can't blame you for not knowing.
And also, I suppose if you look at the document and you take it that it's a legal document, you
Yeah.
take it that maybe all the processes, were done properly.
Would you think that your minister is acting in this
this
malafide manner?
Yes, you might not have that perception that this
Yeah.
is what's going on.
So,
So
yeah.
quite naturally, you might just accept the document as is and believe that maybe, this is what transpired.
That's
In
what
actual
the
fact,
problem
yes,
is.
That's what the problem is.
So most of our journalists
Mhm.
are looking for sensation. They're not looking for facts. Because I would go to Minister Chinamasa and say, Minister Chinamasa, do you believe in constitutionalism and the separation of powers and the doctrine of equality before the law? If you believe that, and if you are the minister who is a custodian of these values, then I see your footprints in the mud of injustice. How does it work that you issue an order that the court confirms in a constitutional state? How is that possible? When the courts are supposed to be separate, the executive must stand on its own. The legislature on its own has 3 pillars of the government. In this case, you are coming before the court and saying, no, the court is below the executive. The role of the court is to confirm what the executive has done. So where is this separation? Then go to lawyers to say the moment this idea of separation is cut by scissors, what remains? Do you think there's any difference between the animal farm and what remains? Huh?
Definitely not.
Which means it's the law of the jungle. The one who is strong will have his way. Nothing to do with justice anymore.
Just abuse of power.
It's to do with might. But the justice, I can only abuse something. You know why they say the legislature is on its own, the judiciary on its own, the executive on its own?
Because they've got different roles to play.
Because you want checks and balances.
At the end of the day, yes.
It's got to tally.
Yeah. I can't be the enforcer. I can't be the judge, jury, and executioner. I can't reduce parliament just to pass laws. The parliament must be a custodians of the constituencies that they represent, which is the universe. Although I may be voted by certain people who believe in one party, when I become a member of parliament, I cease to become a member of a political one party. I represent the constituents that I come from. You would find that the MP of Shabhani, the MP of Mashaba, will be the one going to parliament. And this is what I got from him only on Sunday. Just to show you the seriousness. Yeah. How can you allow them to sell SMM property to MSU for a song? $4 million. They are putting men's residence and some houses. The mine houses are being sold for $4 million. This is the MP telling me on the 5th of August. When is the 5th of August?
It was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It was on
Saturday. Yeah. So I said, okay, how can you allow? So I asked him, what is this question all about? So that's what happened to make sure the mine never opens for good. And with the blessings of Chinamasa. So I said, what do you think ought to be done? You are the MP. He said, court interdiction, or how do we expose this to the world? Hear this. A total mess. How can the mess be resolved? That was my last correspondence with him. That's the MP.
Right, but how do you think it can be resolved?
No, I'm saying that's where you, as a citizen of Zimbabwe, these people are in power. They are not accountable. The president thinks this thing has been done orderly. That the reconstruction order issued by the minister has got legal effect. Because he's the minister. But did you know that the court can condone this? That no, in respect of SMM, the separation of powers, which is a cardinal principle in the construction of an organized and civilized society, is irrelevant. And Justice Kamucha says, no, I don't need to go beyond. Whatever the minister says is fine. He is not protecting anyone. He becomes an agent of injustice. And he sits in court, in chambers, and he says, go. The order is granted. He doesn't know the same order is being used to change the shareholding. And they go to the company's house and say, we have an order of court to allow us to change the membership of this company, to allow us to change the title of this company to this company. This is the Zimbabwe that you don't know. And I believe that if President Mugabe was listening and he knew this is done in the name of the Republic, that he is the head of state. And Chinamasa says, in terms of the presidential powers, there's only one president for the last 30 what? 7 years. So when you say presidential powers, you are already implicating President Mugabe in this scheme
Yes.
Yes.
that he has got full knowledge. And the question, does he have
The full knowledge.
the full knowledge? Or as you were saying, he was given a dummy and told, this is what you have to believe. So I hope
It's a very sad scenario, really.
I hope you
It's
found
very
it
sad.
interesting.
No, absolutely interesting. And to think that maybe there's a lot of people also going through the same, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where companies are being taken away without their consent, and they don't have anyone to run to.
That's right.
Because if people in higher office are abusing their power, ultimately the courts are also abusing their power. Who do you run to at the end of the day?
So when that happens,
Where do you go?
where do you go?
Nowhere.
Yeah. So that's so I think on that note, because we have come to the end of our time, I think did you enjoy it?
Yes, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Was it revealing?
Yes, it was revealing, but it's just sad to know that these things are happening.
It's not sad. When you don't know.
When you don't know, of course, it does not affect you.
Yeah.
But when the truth has been exposed, it's really a situation.
So it's not just now for you, but for the people who are listening out there, who are watching. I think we have 1,300 people who are listening. Please take note. Take notice of this. And if you know the MPs of the area, to say, now I have seen the documents myself. I have seen how the register has been changed based on this new civilization. So when we know that, then we know that we are in problems. So I think we have the power. One individual. What was the song?
One individual at a time.
At a time. To secure the order, not the court order.
Order that we
Order.
desire.
Okay, I think.
Yeah, no.
Well, on that note, brings us to the end of today's show. I hope that you found it very informative and insightful. And we do hope that you tune again tomorrow, same time, as we continue sharing knowledge with you as far as corporate literacy is concerned. Thank you so much, Mr. Mawere, and thank you, Alice, for joining us on the 1873 TV today.
Thank you.
And for more information, you can actually go to www.fosmm.org, where there's documents and even the video itself will be shared, and previous recordings from the other 17 shows that we've had on the 1873 TV. Tinashe Mpasiri being the name. Goodbye. But stay logged on the 1873 TV for another informative and insightful program coming through at 6 p.m. Goodbye.